The Global Fast Track Program is basically a flagship program that we run that's highly business driven as part of the entire Hong Kong Fintech Week preparation. Now, at the end of the day, this kind of events is really meant to connect the various stakeholders. Now, and when we look at the needs of the market, at the end of the day, it's always about finding clients, finding capital, and also finding partners. So therefore, over the past 2 years, we were just very diligently going out to talk to many of the potential clients.
What makes blockchain so important, technology aside, is the fact that now you have a framework in which you can actually scale trust and truth in a sort of permissionless manner, in a way where we think it's going to completely revolutionize everything. Because one of the biggest problems we've always had societally is how do we manage and scale trust? We think of blockchain as really the foundation of a completely new decentralized future, which will shake everything up. Today, if you lose access to your digital life, if you can't be on Facebook, if you can't be on WhatsApp, actually, are you as valuable? Can you conduct business as effectively as you did before? Because Hong Kong is at heart a financial center, right? And the birth of blockchain and crypto really began in a Wall Street kind of fashion. Speculative as that may have been, it's the financial knowledge and the ability to tie that together that basically provided that. So, it's not surprising, therefore, that blockchain is taking off initially in places like London, in places like New York, right? Because there's an understanding of the financial structures out there and how to do that. And so what DeFi has done with blockchain is created a bank, right? A big bank of liquidity, which now needs services, right? And sort of merchants. And that's kind of where property and users come in with non-fungible tokens and platforms like this. And Hong Kong is great for this because you'll find a lot of talent in this space that understands financial services. And
even in Hong Kong, the extent to which there's blockchain-related activity going on, we are home to several of the world's leading crypto exchanges. We are also at the forefront of regulated institutional exchanges, and we also have plenty of OTC and so on. It's a big market. We are also at a crossroads here in terms of development of central bank digital currencies. I think many people may be aware that China, mainland China, is testing now a version of a central bank digital currency. But there's also experimentation in Hong Kong that might look to bridge that with the Hong Kong dollar in a digital format and other currencies, both in here and beyond. So there's a lot going on. And, so touching on that point about Hong Kong being a major financial center, I think when it comes pound for pound compared to what's going on in London and New York, this is just as exciting, if not more so, when it comes to blockchain and crypto.
At the end of the day, these digital assets and blockchain companies are still companies. Everything's not completely decentralized yet. So, there's a lot of value at this point in trying to figure out how we're all going to move forwards together. The financial institutions, I would say the fintechs are distinct now. The regulators, and then all the new innovative digital assets and blockchain companies. And I think we're coming together really interesting ways at the moment. I think this year has been an incredible inflection point. So I've split out the universe into 5 verticals, and that's the infrastructure layer. Obviously, in the last few years, there's been an incredible amount of progress made on that front. But, as we have layer 1 protocols, we still have new ones coming up all the time, right? Tokenization platforms, identity management, these sort of bricks and mortar of this new blockchain landscape, if you like. And then off that, I look at innovation in this space as it pertains to financial services. Again, there's quite a lot of maturity actually in terms of the M&A activity and how existing financial institutions are looking to work with digital assets and blockchain companies, and obviously pioneer many different POCs. So we're seeing a lot of the banks have moved into the space in the last few years, and obviously that's spawns, a lot of industry expertise, and M&A is happening in that vertical. And then I look at NFTs, which was pretty much a 2021 event. If you weren't around in 2017 and picking up crypto kitties, which shame, that's been very much a 2021 event. DeFi, I would say that's the end of the 2020 event. So, incredibly new verticals, but DeFi and NFTs are interesting to me because I see them as distinct from financial services and infrastructure. I think they're the verticals where they're unregulated. Right now, they're unregulated spaces. And so we're seeing really how innovative, you know, the imagination of participants is just running wild, right, in the DeFi and NFT space. And that is absolutely incredible because we need these verticals to see where this can take us. You know, I think in financial services, the regulatory framework is very constrained. Financial services is the most highly regulated industry, and it's very difficult to operate within those parameters. But, you know, it's the opposite in NFTs and DeFi. So let's see where we can get to before there's a clampdown. And then finally, looking at social commerce and social media and e-commerce and the role of a token in those ecosystems, whether it be with advertisers, whether it be blockchain reward systems, you know, bringing together networks of users across businesses in a way that hasn't happened before.
We see ourselves as kind of the integrated private markets gateway, whereby we fractionalize and tokenize various regulated instruments for the mass affluent market. So what we do is that we essentially democratize and enable the mass affluent individual investor to access and buy into these bite-sized private market products. So one of the use cases which we just launched is in the fractionalized wholesale corporate bonds.
King, maybe you want to talk about the GBA very briefly.
Yes, so thank you, James. Now, again, this is, I think the short answer is a work in progress. Now, but then we do have progress made in the past few years. Now, at the end of the day, we have to look at it from two perspectives. You know, one is about the movement of capital from mainland China, you know, for those folks from mainland China who like to diversify their assets beyond renminbi. So the Hong Kong, the stock connects, the bond connects were designed specifically to get some of those capital to the international market. So Hong Kong is basically a direct beneficiary and also facilitator for that. Now, but then they have opened up. I think for those of you who follow the news, the third connect has just got a lot of exposure in the media, and that's the Wealth Management Connect. So that basically gets down to the individual level. They can basically buy different assets, including funds and so on. So that, again, is something that really captured a lot of interest, because when you look at the I think the recent movements of hiring from the major banks. So folks like HSBC, Standard Chartered, Citibank, they all ramp up their wealth management hiring. We're talking about 400, 500 people hired just to service the wealth management market in the GBA. Because of this, the third leg, which is the Wealth Management Connect, they'll be coming online very soon. Now, so that's really the one sort of engine that gets a lot of people very excited. Now, the other thing that we also observed is that when we look at, it's not just about fintech, it's about when people would like to get access, I think, to this amazing growth engine in the GBA. So naturally, you need some local connections.
Maybe the idea of gamification will also be one of those things that just evolves out of need, because people have already have gotten that. We don't need to pretend it's a game. We'll have a very different approach to finance embedded in our lives and our activities.
It's just taken off, and the innovation is just expressing itself in huge price valuations, right, which have already come off. But yes, I think there's a huge financial shift. And it's all the points that Yats touched on, right? It's digital property rights. It's how creative you can get with digital objects that you own and also define you as a person as we move more and more to completely sort of online identities. It's really going to distinguish who you are as well as to what's in your crypto wallet. And you actually own that